All right, so Joan.
Yes.
Nick Barris, who do you know what's so funny about Nick Barris? I have not met one person who dislikes Nick Barris. Not one person.
Okay.
Good guy. I mean, I've never met him, but good guy. So here's the update from Nick Barris on is ICE planning a detention facility in Lebanon, Tennessee. Nick Barris has posted this. The answer now appears to be yes. He says, I've been flooded with questions since the Tennessee Lookout article. It reads, Immigration and Customs Enforcement has purchased a facility in Lebanon to house detained immigrants, an agency spokesperson said Friday. No details about the size, scope, purchase, price, or street address of the facility in Lebanon, about 30 miles east of Nashville, so on and so forth. So,
where is he posting that? On
his Facebook page.
Facebook, okay.
It's like Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. We'll see what Mark Pody, who we just had on here a little bit ago, we'll see what he is able to find out. But, I mean, apparently it sounds like Nick has confirmed it, although somebody told me that Channel 4 said no, that there was a mistake between Tennessee and Pennsylvania, like we've been saying. So I don't know. Okay, now you reported, Joan, that Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz.
Yes.
So this is really interesting. Have they said anything else about it? Like, because I don't know what you reported. I'm seeing, because this is like a developing story, right? And for people that don't know, stories like literally like this will develop by the second.
Yes. So
I'm seeing that Iran, state media, and the IRGC, Iranian
Revolutionary
Guard, announced a temporary partial closure of sections of the strait for several hours to conduct live fire naval drills, citing safety precautions for shipping. You know what this is, right?
It's disruptive, and it's becoming because they're doing the talks right now.
That's
in
exactly
Geneva.
right,
yes.
Joan. This is Iran kind of puffing their chest out.
They disrupt.
Posturing.
They do this all the time.
Saber rattling,
Yes.
posturing, whatever. So, but you know what? They go in knowing how Donald Trump obliterated their nuclear capabilities. Now they come in here doing this kind of stuff.
About 13 million barrels per day of crude oil transit the Strait of Hormuz.
Yep. They say this narrow waterway between Iran and Oman is the world's most critical oil choke point, handling about, as you said, Joan, 30% of global seaborne oil trade and significant exports. So, yeah, this is, this is posturing, this is saber rattling, and this is what Iran does. But this is not the way to go into a negotiation with the United States. So we'll have to see how the president reacts, but that is breaking news, and we'll keep you updated as that story does continue to develop. And as I said, I think we'll know by the end of the day about, and by the way, I did pose the question earlier about Lebanon and whether or not people who lived in Lebanon would actually want an ICE detention facility there. And most people who claim to live in Lebanon, it's hard to tell from the Supertext line, obviously, but most people are like, no, we don't necessarily mind it. We don't know exactly where it is in Lebanon, but we'll just have to get more information from Mark Pody, or as this story does continue to develop. Now, where are we? We are, that's right, Marco Rubio. So a lot of people are talking about Marco Rubio and his speech at the Munich Security Conference. Now, Tim Burchett, of course, our own Tim Burchett in East Tennessee, he had this to say about what is going on in Munich.
I don't know if you saw it or not, but a bunch of Democrats are over in Munich right now in Germany at some world conference with Hillary Clinton at taxpayers' expense, mind you. Very expensive to fly over to Munich. And they're over there, I'm sure, telling everybody how bad things are in this country, which I find quite offensive. It's unbelievable, really, what's going on, that they have the audacity to do that, to go to another country and spend our money to go over there and live a very lavish lifestyle while they're shutting this country down. I find the irony to be just unbelievable.
Oh, I mean, clearly, Tim Burchett is right on a few fronts. This thing is expensive. We've seen the likes of Hillary and AOC honestly make utter fools of themselves, and we've been playing the audio and talking about that the last couple of days. But there was, he was talking about, Congressman Burchett was talking about specifically folks on the left, but there was a speech by a Republican, Marco Rubio, that brought the House down not only here in America, but also in Europe as well. So Marco Rubio, basically what he's doing is he's asking European leaders to not be ashamed of their heritage and not be ashamed of their culture. And to be tough and to be proud and to be able to protect their region. Here's Marco Rubio.
And this is why we do not want our allies to be weak, because that makes us weaker. We want allies who can defend themselves so that no adversary will ever be tempted to test our collective strength. This is why we do not want our allies to be shackled by guilt and shame. We want allies who are proud of their culture and of their heritage, who understand that we are heirs to the same great and noble civilization, and who together with us are willing and able to defend it. And this is why we do not want allies to rationalize the broken status quo rather than reckon with what is necessary to fix it. For we in America have no interest in being polite and orderly caretakers of the West's managed decline.
He's right about the West managed decline. I mean, do I have to talk about the, radical Islam taking over Europe? I mean, that's a big part of it. And also in Europe, you want to talk about the crackdown on free speech. That is also a big issue. But the Islamification of Europe, and of course, Donald Trump, trying to take over Greenland. We could talk about that as well. But, we need to leave the weakness and the apologies to the Democrats, because that's what they do. The Democrats are the ones that are weak. The Democrats are the ones that are always apologizing. But what Marco Rubio is saying is that America and Europe need to partner and not always be at odds. That's what Marco Rubio is trying to say. Basically, what he's saying is be stronger, Europe. Don't be so weak-kneed. America, under Donald Trump, that is all about peace through strength. And so it does seem to me that there's a lot of Europe, and they're showing their TDS, because that seems to be happening all the time.
We do not seek to separate, but to revitalize an old friendship and renew the greatest civilization in human history. What we want is a reinvigorated alliance that recognizes that what has ailed our societies is not just a set of bad policies, but a malaise of hopelessness and complacency. The alliance that we want is one that is not paralyzed into inaction by fear of climate change, fear of war, fear of technology. Instead, we want an alliance that boldly races into the future. And the only fear we have is the fear of the shame of not leaving our nations prouder, stronger, and wealthier for our children. An alliance ready to defend our people, to safeguard our interests, and to preserve the freedom of action that allows us to shape our own destiny. Not one that exists to operate a global welfare state and atone for the purported sins of past generations.
I mean, he's right. And so when you look at Europe, remember a while ago, I played you the audio of a woman that was in the UK somewhere, and I don't remember exactly where, but she was crying on the radio out there because all the people that she knew were being stabbed to death by the radical Muslims, the violent Muslims that had invaded Europe. And so that is what's going on. And so I like that Marco Rubio is calling Europe out for, and basically this was like a tough love kind of speech where he's saying, be proud of who you are and stay who you are. And don't let your nations be taken over by Islam, and stop cracking down on free speech. It's horrific what is going on. And you looked up some stats, Sam.
Yeah, specifically, so they're having this security conference in Germany. Data from sources like Germany's 2024 crime statistics show a rise in sexual violence, up 6.5% overall, with non-German suspects at 39% of rape cases, despite being 15% of the population.
Yep.
And some examples from other surrounding nations. Yazid Mohammed in Sweden in 2024 was sentenced to only 3 years in prison with no deportation because the court ruled the rape did not last long enough to qualify as a...
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Wait, we'll back up. What?
Yeah. So the court ruled the rape did not last to qualify as an exceptionally, say, under the UN refugee rules. So because it didn't last long enough, they couldn't kick him out of the country in Sweden because he's a refugee under the UN.
That disgusts me.
You've got a Hassan Abu Haleh in the UK, Syrian migrant, sexual assault, got 2 years and 10 months, claimed severe PTSD from torture under Assad, and argued prison would violate his human rights.
So they didn't send him to prison, or did they?
2 years and 10 months for prison for sexual assault.
So that the previous one didn't last long enough. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think everybody's. So how long did it last?
It was
like, I don't
defined
even,
as a brief assault. He assaulted a 16-year-old girl walking home from work in Sweden in September.
So it was only a brief assault. That's it. So they let him go.
That's their standard in Europe.
Oh my gosh.
That's just awful.
Just see, you know what part of me is Marco Rubio is, kind of tough loving it with the Europeans. That is so disgusting. I want to take that olive branch back and knock him over the side of the head.
So there's some ones that when people want to say that we're out to be racist. No, Andriy Sterestov, Ukrainian migrant, molested a woman at the London Bridge station, and cited stress from the conflict in Ukraine, got no prison time, was ordered community service. I mean, just the list Grok spit out keeps going.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like here. They have their problems there in Europe with a lot of the Muslims that have gone into Europe, migrated into Europe, and Europe just open arms. Let's just go ahead and do the call to prayer and all that kind of stuff, and allow them to get all of the allow them to commit all of these crimes. I mean, I loved what J.D. Vance did last year. We talked about this earlier, where J.D. Vance, he was accused of being antagonistic, but you know what? Europe needs to hear this because they are allowing Europe's culture, which right now it is in tatters, and they're allowing Europe's culture to just disappear. Again, just to name a few, its lockdown on free speech was horrifying, angered a lot of folks. And again, the just being overrun by migration. And so here's the deal. Marco Rubio, he's essentially saying a lot of the same things that J.D. Vance said, but Marco Rubio's speech is landing a little differently.
An alliance that does not allow its power to be outsourced, constrained, or subordinated to systems beyond its control. One that does not depend on others for the critical necessities of its national life. And one that does not maintain the polite pretense that our way of life is just one among many and that asks for permission before it acts. And above all, an alliance based on the recognition that we, the West, have inherited together. What we have inherited together is something that is unique and distinctive and irreplaceable, because this, after all, is the very foundation of the transatlantic bond.
I like what Rubio said there about outsourcing necessities. The problem is that even though he got a standing ovation, it was a great speech, but I think it'll probably fall on deaf ears out there in Europe. They can't help themselves. Europe is still dependent on Russian gas at a time when they're siding with Ukraine in the war, which is incredibly stupid. They've had massive inflation, kind of like America before Donald Trump came in. Back in 2024, they saw and I'm going to air quote this, they saw the far right gain political traction. Why? Well, because the left was allowing the culture to be taken over by migrants. I mean, heck, in the UK, Keir Starmer, we talked about this. Keir Starmer appoints Peter Mandelson as the UK ambassador to the United States, despite his connections to Epstein. Starmer knew it, but appointed him anyway. That is a huge controversy. It was Donald Trump who strengthened NATO and not Joe Biden. So, again, it seems to me, I like what Marco Rubio did, and I like the whole speech. It was embracing peace through strength. I guess my question is, whose tact will Europe listen to more? Will they listen to Marco Rubio or will they listen to J.D. Vance? I think J.D. Vance gave them what for last year, and that was one of my all-time favorite J.D. Vance speeches. So either way, we'll see if we can have a positive influence on Europe. We'll have to wait and see if they heed the warning of one Marco Rubio. All right, so I blame Joan. It's Joan's fault.
What is now?
You need to stop veering into your Jersey accent. Did you hear what happened to me in the last commercial?
Oh, no. What'd you do?
I'm reading a sentence and suddenly I break into damage.
Damage.
Damage. I said damage. I don't know. And I don't know where that came from. I've read that same commercial at least 100 times. And somehow I hit the word damage and I said damage. And
That's
I blame
okay,
you,
Dan.
Joan Jones.
That's okay. No, you're doing okay.
Sounds like you did some dandage.
Oh, that's dumb.
You need a bandage for your damage.
So apparently, I'm being ridiculed for the whole A1
Relentlessly.
steak sauce thing.
You should be.
That. Not just that. The well done steak thing has really upset some people.
Yeah, y'all got to get over it. So apparently, Rooster says that well done steaks are rather unhealthy to eat. Look it up. So I know that you could say that it's a carcinogen. I think that's what people. I'm not talking about burned. I'm talking about well done. So that's number one. 6765 sounds like we got a pansy in the house. Thank you. Does Dan's wife have to cut up his steak? 1393. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why the kitty wear.
Betty says Betty says the cow needs to moo when you cut it. John in Lawrenceburg, one of my favorites. Dan, your panties are showing.
Oh.
Oh my.
Someone else told you to stick to hot dogs.
Do you know how I like my hot dogs?
Burnt.
Yep. Just like my marshmallows.
Dan needs A1 because the flavor is cooked out of his dry steak.
All right, 8210 says A1 is good on everything, and it is. So
that would be Frank's hot sauce.
So every once in a while, like if Amy and I go to a highfalutin place, Kid Rock's place, I got the A1 at Kid Rock's place, but I didn't use it because at Kid Rock's place, the steak was that good. Now, Bourbon Steakhouse, I did use the A1, and I thought that their steaks were good. It just needed a little extra, A1 on it, and I did. And by the way, I don't know if you wouldn't because you guys don't order A1, but you folks on the Super Text line, if you go to a fancy restaurant and you order A1, do the waiters get snooty? Because I've had waiters, I've had waiters kind of like do the whole somebody, farted in an elevator kind of look when I order A1.
Yeah.
Like, dear God, you want to defile your steak with A1 sauce? What is wrong with y'all? Sounding like Thurston Howell III.
3629. People who eat well-done steaks with A1 steak sauce might as well eat shoe leather with ketchup. That's it.
Is that high protein?
I don't know. Are you staving off turbomandibular joint disorder with all the chewing you have to do?
Sure, all of that. Let's see here. President Trump eats his steak very well done with a side of ketchup. Who's got the best steak in town, by the way? Like I'm gonna tell you, I've got two big ones that I would recommend. All right, you ready? Now, they're expensive, and I already know this, so don't yell at me for their being expensive. But if you want the best steak in town, Kid Rock's place or Sinatra's.
Oh,
those two places. Sinatra's. If this is my pick. If you got like a hot date or something that you want to impress somebody, take them to either Sinatra's or Kid Rock's place. Those are my two big restaurants. I love them.
I'm gonna go Jimmy Kelly's.
Jimmy Kelly's is okay. Jimmy Kelly's is good too, but
best filet I've ever had though, specifically on the filet mignon cut.
Yeah,
perfectly cooked.
So down by me,
yes,
in Manchester, there's a new restaurant called Binninger and Schwartz. I'm like when I think about it, my mouth starts watering. So, we had a steak there to die for.
Really?
Yeah.
What makes it
Just recently.
what makes it to die for? Like just the flavor pops, obviously.
It's cooked medium rare with no A1 sauce.
They
And all that blood.
make the outside have that like there's a crunchy outside.
Oh, get that hard sear on it.
Yeah. And then the inside is tender and oh my goodness.
9430 Stony River. What about Perry's Steak? I've been to all these places. Jeff Ruby's is another good one. 1012 says Dan's carnivore card is revoked. Congrats, you are now a vegan.
See, I would say the second best steakhouse would be my house because I prefer me to cook the meat.
All right, so we'll come over.
Yeah, at some
Saturday,
point.
6.
You know,
You
when
bring
I
the ribeyes, I'll prepare them.
when I order fish, I order that well done too, because I don't like slimy fish.
You actually tell the waiter.
I do. I do.
Hey, yo, put a weight on that thing and burn it.
I don't want my. I've actually said
Do you have it broiled
no
or
grilled. Grilled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to cook it in the middle so that it's not slimy.
But when you do that to like,
Depends on the fish.
do you eat salmon?
I
No.
do eat salmon.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding. Yes, I do eat salmon.
So
I love salmon.
if you overcook salmon, then it's just dry. It's not even good inside.
I think apparently I just like dry food.
I think you probably do.
I like my food like I like my jokes. Dry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. Oh, Ruth Chris, 3176. Ruth Chris, also very good. So, anyway, could you tell a difference, Joan, in kinds of steak?
Well-
Like T-bone
Yeah.
versus sirloin.
Yep.
I'm a ribeye person. Like
You're a
hands
ribeye
down.
person?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. I
Yeah,
tend to get
ribeye.
the lightest. You know, like if something is only, I don't know, whatever calories. I tend to get the less caloric of all of them. What do you like, Sam?
I'm going to go ribeye as well as a default, but I would go ribeye, filet, and strip in that order just because you can never have too many favorites.
By George, I think I know what I'm going to do. So, at the Steak of the Union, I will try, at Legend Steakhouse, I will try rare steak or medium rare steak. As long as somebody gives me a bite of theirs. Because I'm not going to waste I'm going to get my steak well done, like I like it, but then maybe, Murphy Show or Chris Hand or Chad will give me a bite of their steak, medium rare, so that I don't, with all of its blood, so that I don't have to,
Glow bin.
yeah, whatever, so that I can, try it at least. Because I'm not going to waste a good steak on medium rare. I'm just not. But if somebody gives me a bite, because remember, Brian Wilson would not give me a bite of his steak at whatever, moving
You'll
on.
never forget it.
No, I won't. I'm like a spouse that's all bitter and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm just
the
going to keep.
tomahawk ribeye.
Oh, my gosh.
To die for.
Just gorgeous.
Yeah, that is the tomahawks are good. The tomahawks are very good. Hermitage Steakhouse is also very good, as a matter of fact. So, anyway, there you go. So that is Steak Talk. So if you would, please go to 997WTN.com and order your tickets today.
And just think, if you disagree with Dan on how he likes his steak cooked, if you go to this event, you can tell him to his face how wrong he is.
Sure.
And make a recording and send it to me and Sam.
Offer him a bite of your medium rare steak and convince him he is wrong.
I was at an event a couple of years ago, and somebody cornered me and told me how I was wrong on some topic. I don't even remember what it was, and I was like cornered, and I just wanted to get away because you know what? I don't want to talk about politics necessarily when I'm there, and trying to have a good time. So, yeah, sometimes I have to deal with that. But if you want to come up and just say hello, and you want to talk about how great things are, but don't argue with me about politics. Now, if you want to agree with me on politics, I'm there all day long. But don't argue with me about politics. It's supposed to be a good time. I think somebody said they wanted to corner one of I don't know which one it was, but I think somebody said on the super text line that they would pay the money just to corner said host and give him a little what for. You know what? If you buy a ticket and you want to give me what for, I'll take it as long as you buy a ticket.
and give him a bite of your medium rare steak.
And you know what? You can give me what for and a bite of your steak. We got to go. All right, 8:50 Super Talk. Now, by the way, I should have mentioned Chris. I guess he's not going to make it for this bit.
No, he's actually, yeah. He may not be there for the bit, but
well, it's 8:50 now, so the bit's over. So clearly he's
done.
missed it. Did we really spend the last 10 minutes talking about stupid steak?
Well, it's not stupid. God put it on this earth for our consumption, and it's nutritious and delicious.
Mm-hmm. Real quickly, do you want to hear how many do we have? Okay, this is Scott Jennings. My one last piece of audio. This is Scott Jennings, and he is trying to school the people on The View about all things Epstein and Donald Trump. Listen.
For anybody who is trying to obfuscate or diminish what's actually going on here. And again, Scott, you keep saying, well, he didn't do anything. There's no indication of criminality. If that's true, he should be elated that we're putting these things out.
It's not if that's true. It is true. Can you name any evidence?
I would like to see the evidence. What I'm saying is...
You think after 10 years of public life...
Do you know what I don't get about this? I wish I would have played this audio sooner. What I don't get about this is you got these idiots on the Abby Phillips show, and it's like, hey, 2 years ago called. They want their narrative back. Donald Trump has signed the legislation along with Congress. They've signed the legislation to release the documents. And in the documents, the proof says that Donald Trump was essentially a whistleblower against Epstein. Who are these people that are still saying that Donald Trump did bad things to little girls? He clearly did not.
Life, you wouldn't know it already?
No, I don't.
No,
that's exactly the point.
Oh, my goodness.
Scott,
this is an IQ test. Don't fail it. Come on, man.
Scott,
I love that. This were an IQ test. Don't fail it. Come on, man.
10 years Donald Trump has been in public life.
That's embarrassing.
Come on.
Scott, it is an IQ test. I mean, for 10 years, we haven't heard any names. So you really think that no one's involved?
No, obviously. Larry Summers was involved. Stacey Plaskett was involved. There's all kinds of people involved with Jeffrey Epstein.
If someone was involved, we would know about it. They would be prosecuted. It would be done and dusted. The last 10 years, no one has been prosecuted for this. Is that a sign that nothing has happened?
No, absolutely not.
So then why are you saying that is the case for Trump?
question directly to him is, if you think after 10 years, 3 presidential campaigans, and Democrats unleashing holy hell on him, you wouldn't know about it?
No, that's exactly what I'm saying.
The dumb thing is, like, it's almost like at least the last couple of weeks didn't happen. I mean, yesterday I played you the audio. I think I played it on Friday, too. I played you the audio where ABC News of all the places admitted that Donald Trump was working with the cops and told the police, thank you for coming in.